I'm doing well. How are you?
So let us call to order the April meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners, and we can call the roll.
Hauser,
Oh, yeah, where is it?
Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Cole.
Present.
Okay,
Right, we have a quorum. So next we'll move to the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
We need to make an amendment. So if you turn to page 4, we will add item D, and that is adoption of a resolution regarding a settlement of a lawsuit, and you should have that resolution in front of you. We also received privileged and confidential communication earlier this week or last week that everyone should have received. Commissioner Coleman, with that amendment, would you please make your motion? Thank you. Is there a support? Any discussion or other changes to the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, and that is adopted. Next, we move to the minutes of March the 19th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Blackman? And Commissioner Forte supports. Any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. And that is unanimously adopted. Next, we come to public comments. Do we have any requests for public comments?
yes, Mr. Chair, Brian Peckinpah, Public Affairs Director for Detroit Water and Sewage Department. I'll give the instructions. To make a comment, if you are in person, please sign the sign-in sheet. Your name will be called and you can proceed to the microphone. If you are online, please raise your hand by using the raise hand icon on your desktop or mobile device. If you are calling into the meeting by phone, press *9 to raise your hand. If you are online using the Zoom app or on the phone, after your name is called, you will get permission to unmute. In order to begin speaking, you will have to unmute yourself. To do so, press the unmute button, which is the microphone icon if you're online or on the app, or press *6 if you are calling in. You will have a limit of 3 minutes to make your comment. There will be a timer indicating your remaining time. If you're online to make a comment, we kindly request you fill out the comment card link that's located in the chat. With this information, we can follow up with you appropriately. You will only be called upon once. Once the chair closes public comment, there will be no other comments from the public, and all attendees will remain muted for the duration of the meeting. On-site comments will go first, followed by online and on the phone. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peckinpah. I'd first like to call on Eugene Lewis. Mr. Lewis, come on down. How are you this afternoon?
Scoring 2 years old.
All right.
Go ahead. Yeah, my problem is I live on the corner of Alma and Celestine. 14515 was my house number. I moved there the first week in January in 13. In 15, when they had the big flood, I had 34 inches of water in my basement. I didn't understand that. My brother had about 30 inches in his basement. Ever since then, every major rain, I've had at least 16 inches of water in my basement. Now, the street on the corner of Alma and Celestine floods. It's even with the grass. My basement floods, and when that water go down, the water go out of my basement. The water shoots up in the middle of my basement floor about 18 inches tall when all that water is out there. FEMA has replaced my hot water tank, my furnace, my washer and dryer, and all the other tools that I might have in the basement. Like once my welder, I had a couple of small generators down there. Now, there's a reason that that water comes in my house from the sewage system. And that's what I'm here to say.
Okay.
We'll have that investigated this week and make sure we get your phone number.
Yeah, we've got it here. Your phone number is 313-671. Your phone number is correct on here. Oh, who's next? Thank you very much, sir.
With it now? Will someone contact me or something? Okay.
Stanley Smith.
I'd like to call Stanley Smith. Mr. Smith, are you here? Oh, yes, sir.
I can begin.
Yes.
Stanley Smith, I own 6058-6030th. I got a bill on 2/8/2025 for $1,125.62. I asked for a water dispute. I got a date for the technician to come out on 2025. He checked the two family flats, no leaks. I had the technician replace the old meter with the new one. And I don't have anybody. I only have one family member upstairs. I don't have nobody downstairs because it's being rebuilt. It's no tubs or nothing in. And then on 2/26/2025, I talked to Audrey and got another water dispute again because I didn't even know they didn't put the first one in. And like I said, that amount of water, 232 CCFs, is enough to fill up a whole street or a pool, and there's no leaks. So when I got, like I say, when I got the meter taken out and got another one put in, the water bill went back to normal. But I don't know what to do about that $1,125 water bill. But on 3/17/2025, I talked to Stephanie, put in another dispute, and no letter telling me why they canceled the first couple of disputes. Still no reason for the cancellation. Then when I called, I was getting false information on how to handle the water disputes. I finally received an official notification letter from the water company on 3/10/2025. Letter said I had high usage from 2/2/25 to 3/4/25. But I said, that's funny to me because the technician came out and said no leaks in the two-family flat. And I had to, like I said, I had the technician replace the meter. Everything goes back to normal. And like I say, I used to be, I got electronic certificate, journeyman's card. I know I know equipment is not being, will break down or malfunction. And because the water company said that meter was put in 2016. So it should, I mean, it's probably done wore out, but I don't know what to do about this $1,125 bill that they're trying to make me pay. How you doing? Stanley Smith. Yeah. I grew up with you. I know who you are. How you doing?
It's been years, right?
Good. I was just trying to get everything in. I only got 3 minutes, so. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I was looking for Matt, but yeah, we're gonna get a resolve once and for all for you, Mrs. Smith. So the person that's standing at that back door is waiting on you.
He took my information. So he took all my paperwork.
Resolved by next week.
But they said the dispute was over $175. It's not over on that official water company letter. It's about $1,125 in 1 month.
Yeah, no, we'll
You know,
get it resolved next week.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith.
good day.
Next is John D. Is it Laszlo?
On 30th, yep.
Oh,
Gentlemen, how are you today? My name is John D. Laszlo, and I have here 3 issues. One issue, actually, I want to congratulate you because I called the water department a couple of months ago because of water leak. 2 days later, I drove by and you guys fixed it. I thought that was kind of fast. The second thing that I have, I'm on Lifeline because I don't have an income. And it took over 6 months and your building department still cannot straighten out the problems. I investigated the issue and I know the issue, but I need some help to make sure you guys correct it. And I spoke with Matt. He advised me to talk to those ladies after the meeting. The third issue is I have a problem with the ceiling picture you guys have downstairs. By that picture, this joint should be called the Pagan Church of Poseidon, not DWSD. Now, Poseidon was not a good god. He was a very, very bad god, the god of storms and flooding. So by invoking his picture there, you brought all that on the city. Poseidon also hated humans. He liked to punish them like he punished that Greek fighter who fought in Troy. And instead of taking him 2 weeks to get back home, it took him 20 years because of Poseidon. So I think that picture should be removed. But even more, I know Poseidon, he doesn't look like that. That guy you guys have on the picture is like pure evil. Look at his hair. It's even worse than my hair. And there's something very hard to believe. So I didn't know you guys worship gods here. I always thought you guys were Jewish or something. I didn't know you guys, that picture doesn't, that invokes some powers from thousands of years ago, causing problems to the city. So I think somebody should look into that. Maybe put a picture of George Washington or George Bush or somebody, but Poseidon, it's the wrong idea. But anyways, I thank you so much. I wanted to bring it up to you. And for the water bill, I was advised by Matt to talk to those two ladies. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Good day.
Gaston Nash III. Mr. Nash? Good afternoon, sir.
No. I just wanted to bring to the board a couple of sewer basins in my neighborhood that I'm trying to get unblocked. I've been trying to get them unblocked for a while. One I put into Improved Detroit back in May of 24. That one is still open. And then another one I put in August of 24. And that was, well, the one in May of 24 was closed and it said it was resolved, but it's still blocked. The one that I put in August of 24 is still open with no response. So I have the addresses here and pictures if you need them.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. Is there anyone else in the meeting room that would like to address the board? Anyone online?
Mr. Chair, we have Mac Farr.
Far?
Far.
Oh, Mac. Oh, Mac. Mac, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Mac, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you have the floor, sir.
Excellent. So I just wanted to say hello and revisit some issues that we've had in the villages over the course of the past couple of years. First off, I wanted to thank Brian Peckinpah for being the consummate professional and very responsive. Over the course of the past few years, as we've continued to gather sites that have blocked catch basins or storm drains in the street, Brian has been very responsive. He wrote us a letter last year indicating that the sites that we'd submitted through Improved Detroit would be fixed. And most of those sites, I think pretty much all of them actually, still need repairs. So I know that we have a few other people here today that are going to speak to the same issue. We have some residents from West Village. But, I just wanted to revisit this topic and to re-engage with the department so that DWSD can come out and fix some of those storm drains. In addition, there's becoming more use in our alleys which is sort of surfacing the fact that we have a number of sinkholes that we're also going to be bringing to your guys' attention over the course of the next few months. So, to mirror the comments from the prior speaker, it's pretty frequent that when a catch basin or a storm drain is reported on Improved Detroit, a lot of the times the initial response from DWSD does not actually get the job done, unfortunately. And so I guess what we're asking for is for the department to go a little bit further in terms of repairs and restoration to these sites. So on the topic of infrastructure and storm drains, that's what I have to say. And also, I'd like to offer a differing opinion of the paintings in the lobby. I think they're great. I think Poseidon is sort of a fun character, and I don't think you should cover him up. So, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mac.
Mr. Chair, the next person is Cecily McClellan.
Ms. McClellan.
Yes, good afternoon, board. Thank you for this opportunity. We the people of Detroit is concerned that there are clients that are being transferred from Lifeline who were eligible, had submitted all of their paperwork, and they were automatically transferred, and without being provided an option to just pay their bill. It's our hope and expectation that many of the Lifeline residents should not have high arrearages and would not necessarily need to stretch their bill over a 36-month period. But we're trying to find out what is the actual status of Lifeline. In reviewing the director's report, it indicates on page 25 that there are 24,649 residents receiving the benefits. That number has changed drastically because online you're indicating 12,544. But in Matt Phillips' customer service report on April 2nd, he indicated that there were 8,132. So it's our understanding, and it's been shared before, that DWSD has the capability of servicing about 11,000 now with the loss of funding. 8,000 is below that 11,000 mark. So we need to know what is the bottom out, what is the status, and how many people are actually enrolled in the in the Lifeline program. Also, in terms of the Easy Pay program, there's also some inconsistencies in terms of the data. I'm seeing on one page in the director's report that they have 13,458 enrolled, and that's on page 22. And on page 25, it says there are 6,105 enrolled. So what's the reason for these discrepancies? Also, there's, in terms of Matt Phillips' report on April the 2nd, he indicated that it was over 25,734. So what is the enrollment in the Easy Pay program? Also, how many people in the Easy Pay residents have been transferred to Promise Pay? Because it's our understanding that Promise Pay is also managing the Easy Pay program, unlike the 10-30-50 program formerly provided by the Water Department. Promise Pay is managing both the Easy Pay and also the collections in the Promise Pay. So I would just like to get an idea of exactly how many people have been transferred, because Promise Pay has an incentive to transfer as many as possible from Easy Pay.
Matthew?
You guys hear me? Okay. Yep. Based on the comments that were just made, just to clarify, there are, and I don't have the exact number in front of me, but there are 8,100 and approximately 30 individuals. So 8,130 individuals that are enrolled and receiving the benefits of Lifeline right now today. There are no additional funds to enroll any additional customers. As reported in the previous board meeting by myself, there is no more funds available. Wayne Metro has confirmed that. The state of Michigan has also confirmed that. So I just set that piece of it straight. Promise Pay is a vendor that has not begun work with DWSD as far as enrolling any customers into Easy Pay or any type of payment plan. That has not occurred to this date. Customers are always encouraged, or they have the ability to pay off their bill in full at any time, and they receive the total amount that's due on a monthly basis on their bill. And yes, we did enroll approximately 4,000 individuals that did not get into Lifeline due to the fact that they did not submit all of their paperwork to complete the application. And we did enroll them into Easy Pay to, one, protect them from any type of shutoff, and to spread their payment out over 36 months or 3 years. So we did do that. The option, and each one of those customers was given the option that they could opt out, and all they had to do was call us or go online and they could opt out of that. To my knowledge, I don't know of anybody that has opted out of having their past due balance spread over 36 months. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you very much.
Question.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Commissioner Kinlock.
Okay, so like you mentioned last time, there was no more funds available. So this is an initiative or an action that the department's taking to spread residents' bills over 36 months in order to protect them for shutoff. Is that correct?
As well as we are waiving the $10 fee that we normally charge to get into the program. So we're going to waive that, automatically put them in the program, spread the payments over 3 years, and they have the ability to opt out if they don't want that option. And at any time, they can pay off
The balance.
Okay. And I'd observe, we don't charge interest. So I have a big incentive to pay off my credit card balances because what? We're paying 20% or more interest. But we're not charging interest. So it's a pretty good deal.
Mr. Chair, we have next Ms. Orr.
Ms. Ora?
Hello.
Ms. Ora?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for taking accepting my request. My name is Tiffany Orr, and I just have a few questions. My first question is, when you have a previous resident and they leave an existing balance with the home for the water for the water board, does that go with the resident or does that stay with the home? And then the grass that was the grass that was cut, or I'm not sure what they were doing. They were digging up the lawns this last year and they left the net over it with the hay. It has damaged my front lawn horribly. Is there anything that's going to be done about that? And what do you do about applying for the life program? I applied back in September, and because I was working for Stellantis and we got laid off indefinitely, we still haven't been called back to work. We don't have a return to work date at all at the Mac plant there on St. Jean and Mac. And I was applying for that. I never received any information. I called, I left messages, even with Wayne Metro, I left messages. I never received anything. And so even if I call for Easy Pay and to discuss my bill, which is astronomical, and I'm not understanding why it's so high, no one is ever available. So I would just like someone to speak to those issues so that I can receive some sort of clarity as to what's going on with the bills, the grass, and how to proceed.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, if we could ask her to put her phone number in the chat, someone will back with her right after this meeting is over, and we'll resolve all 4 of the issues that she is asking about.
Ms. Orr, you have that? Put your phone number in the chat and we will call you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, the next person is Yvette. There's no last name, just Yvette. Yvette.
The translator. Yvette's. Yvette's. Ms. Yvette? Are you here, ma'am?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Yvette Jenkins, and I live in the Grand Mountain Rosedale area. And I'm calling regarding the way the transition was managed from the Lifeline program. I mean, we all can understand. I don't think it was transparent enough. I appreciate the communication, but I would have been more appreciative if it had been more transparent. I have been involved, or I'm on a fixed income. I'm a senior on a fixed income. And frankly, that program was extremely helpful for me. And the transition, I think could have been managed a little better. I think that, you know, just based on my observation, that things were done in a wholesale way, perhaps versus looking at each individual situation. The other thing is, I had received my last bill, and it was a shorter time frame. I get my Social Security the third Wednesday of the month. And so I have become accustomed to paying all of my bills when I receive that funding. What happened was, between this last bill and the bill before, the amount of time was cut down. I think I lost 10 days. And so I received a bill just a few days before it was due, indicating that if I didn't pay it by April 10th, that I would be out of this particular program, this new program that I was put into. The fact of the matter is, I didn't have any past due balances, so 36 months to pay $2, it just didn't seem as though I was the right person to be in that easy pay program. And the fact that the request came 10 days earlier than what my typical bill would be really caused me a hardship. So I think that it would have been helpful if I had stayed on the same cycle, if there had been more time in terms of the communication. It would have been more customer focused and customer friendly. So thank you for allowing me to share my concerns, and I appreciate, you know, whatever feedback I can be given. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you.
If Ms. Jenkins could also put her phone number in the chat, we will get back with her. We need some additional information to research all the issues surrounding her account. So if she could put her number in the chat, we'll make sure we'll get back with her later today.
Okay, Mr. Chair, the next person is Dolores. No last name, Dolores.
All right. Is there someone with the name of Dolores would like to talk to us? Dolores? Well, if you are here, identify yourself. We'll come back to you.
Okay, Mr. Chair, the next person is Ashley.
Ashley?
Hello,
Ashley?
can you hear? Hi.
Hi.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my comment. My name is Ashley Raleigh. I live in West Village, off of Lafayette, and we have an alley behind us that we use to access the back of our house and our parking pad. And I'm calling just to bring to light some significant sinkholes that are in the alley, making it nearly impossible to access, and also just some storm drain issues that we've called about in the past. We are working with MacFar from the Villages to kind of help get our alley fixed. But he had requested that we come on to today's meeting to talk more about that.
Mr. Chair, we heard it loud and clear. We're going to work with Matt Farr on all the alley issues in West Village and see if we can bring some relief.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, the next person is Gwendolyn Howard.
Gwendolyn Howard, Ms. Howard?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for taking my call. We the people of Detroit here, and I'm so glad that Yvette and Ashley were before me and after Cecily, because those are the questions that we've had coming from our customers that we service or the members of the block club that's asking, and a lot of them said the same thing that Yvette said. And again, we were trying to figure out if Promise Pay was managing the Easy Pay, and Promise Pay is going to be the collection agent or the engine for collection. They have a heck of an incentive, 11%, I think, to collect on people. So just like she said, when most of those that came off of Lifeline didn't have a big balance. So to automatically transfer them to what could be a collection agency in the near future, to Promise Pay, because that's what they're here to do, collect on your past due bills. So are they managing the Easy Pay program? That's question number one. And if so, the people that had the minute balances, like one customer that was at the meeting with us, her balance was $56 because she hadn't missed the. So with that being said, she said that her balance was $56 when it all was said and done, so she paid it. But the point was that she was put into a program that she didn't get a yay or a nay. And I also like that term that Yvette used, wholesale way, that you hurdle them all over here without their permission, thinking that them waiving the $10 was doing them a favor, but they didn't get explanation. So I'm glad that there was somebody else except for us saying what we needed to say and trying to get an understanding on Promise Payroll and how they were moved over to the Easy Pay program. And you say it like that's a good thing. I guess it's the next program that's going, but the question still remains, how did I not get to stay on Lifeline? We explained the point that there's no more money, and it was a cutoff point, but on the board, it shows like people are still pending or something like that for the program. That we just want to know the bottom line. We here to work together as well to make sure that we give them the best information we can give them. But I'm glad they're asking them themselves sometime, because how did I get over here? And if it's a collection agency, what makes you think I want to be in a collection agency if that's what Promise Pay actually is?
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm kind of getting confused right now because I haven't signed a contract with Promise Pay. I haven't brought to this board a contract for Promise Pay. Promise Pay has not implemented any program that I know of in the city of Detroit or for DWSD. We are in discussions with a company called Promise Pay to see if they can offer our customers some additional options. But we haven't finalized anything on Promise Pay.
So, Mr. Director, how is that floating in the universe? Have they heard it? Did we talk about it at any point here? Because a couple of people coming on here, it's kind of problematic that they're coming on here and mentioning a program associated with DWSD that does not exist. You're saying here, I don't remember voting on a contract. And so I don't understand how that's even getting out there into the universe.
As you know, we meet with and talk with advocates weekly. And before we even begin to roll out a program, we talk with them about the options that program will have. So
okay, I see what you, okay.
I think in the future, if we're able to nail down a contract that's beneficial to DWSD and our customers, then we'll bring that contract to you. I think this particular customer, she really answered our own questions. There is no new money, no more money to enroll new people into Lifeline. There's no money. And the option that we have for them is Easy Pay. And so we've seamlessly rolled her into Easy Pay because there's no money. And if in fact we bring a contract to this board, we'll roll out a PowerPoint presentation on all the advantages that Promise Pay has to offer. One of the things that we've talked about internally a lot is how do we give our customers an opportunity to pick a date that they pay their bill. As one customer says, she gets her check on a certain day, so she'd like to be able to pay her bill on that day, and it's coming 10 days later. We'd like to be able to offer that option. If Promise Pay, by way of example, is able to help us with that, that would be an advantage and be a reason why we would offer those services. But right now, Promise Pay is not publicly in play. They're only in discussions with us. And we've had some discussions with water advocates about the program so that we make sure that we're being transparent when we do roll something out. And I'm sorry that it's gotten out publicly, that it's coming through public comment, but at this particular time, it is not a program that we're prepared to roll out or talk about because we haven't negotiated and signed a contract or feel that we know enough about it to be able to do that. And we will in the near future, I'm sure.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, we'll try Dolores again.
So are you here?
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
here. Hi, thank you for taking my call. And I was not asleep. My daughter was on the call a few calls back, and that was Tiffany Orr. And she called me in the middle of this to say that there was no, the chat was unable. You're unable to enter anything in the chat as she had been told to do. But that's not. Then there's a phone number that you can call, and you can leave a message on the recorder, and I guess they'll call you guys will call people back. And my issue was the grass and the sinkhole. Let me first say, I'm Dolores Orr. I'm the vice president of East Village Association. We've been complaining about a sinkhole in the alley here on Cadillac for well over 2 years. The only thing that has been done, there's children in that area that play in the alley as well because the alleys were cleaned out at one time. And the only thing that was done was to come out and put a horse across the hole in the alley. Okay, and if McFire is taking care of the alleys over in West Village, they've been at our meetings, McFire has, DWSD has, and that has been reported, talked about, discussed, raked over and everything else for over 2 years, and nothing's been done. So can we be added to whatever list you're going to talk to McFire about the villages, since they are over the villages and we are a part of the village, can have our alleys looked at, checked as well for that sinkhole that's here on Cadillac. And the grass, when they dug the street, when they repaired the things in the street, put the hay out, and it is horrible. My grass is, and we were having our grass taken care of by True Green. Had beautiful grass. It is patched up, brown, and horrible right now. So we would like to have someone out to make sure that's redone.
All right, I'd like to call on our deputy director, Mr. Smalling.
Thank you.
Two pieces of information. In regards to restoration of hard and soft surfaces, soft being the grass, that effort just started this week. We were waiting for the asphalt and concrete plants to open to fix the sidewalks, streets, et cetera. So that work has started this week and will continue in full effect throughout the season. In regards to sinkholes in the alleys, the overwhelming vast majority of these are actually private issues. We place a barricade just to alert pedestrians and drivers that there is a defect. When we televise the sewer, we will send the homeowner a letter that describes and actually has a picture of what the defect of their lateral is. However, and we cannot use rate or our capital dollars to repair those since they are private issues. That being said, we have secured $9 million from Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Funds from the June 21 storm. And in addition to that, we are hopeful to receive another $175 million from the August 23 storm from HUD. All combined, those dollars that we're going to invest in alley sewer repairs should be able to address close to 13,000 of these sinkholes. There is a 5-month environmental review that we have to go through, so it won't be this summer or fall as we had hoped, but early next year, calendar year, we hope to be able to make significant progress addressing these alleys.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, we have Norel Hemphill.
Ms. Hemphill?
Yes, may I be heard? Good afternoon. Can
Yes.
everybody hear me? Good afternoon. Yes, my name is Attorney Norel Hemphill. I am the legal and policy manager with the people of Detroit. I have a couple of things. Number one, I want to clear up the suggestion that Director Brown is saying that he's meeting with advocates. I'm not sure who he's meeting with. I just want to make it clear to the public and the community that he is not meeting with We the People of Detroit on a weekly or even monthly basis, other than our interactions at the Board of Water Commissioners meeting and at the Board of Water Commissioner committee meetings. Any meetings that we have or any interactions that we have with DWSD, we do publish with our community to let the community know what is going on and what has transpired with those meetings. And I did want to respond. This was not initially going to be my public comment, but I did want to respond to the questions about Easy Pay that Director Brown is not sure where we're getting this information from. And I just wanted to go over a little bit of historical documents that we had from DWSD's meetings. So from the August 21st Board of Water Commissioner meeting, in those documents, there was presented an a DWSD Easy Pay payment plan, where it does give a policy document for Easy Pay. And the number on that, the administrative policy document number is 400-CS-payment plan agreement. And then also, I did not go back very far, but I do have a couple of things from the January 15th Director's Report on page 25. There's a line item that talks about 6,105 people enrolled in Easy Pay, excuse me. And then there's another one. I'm not sure the date on this Director's Report. I'm sorry, June. No, this had to have been probably August of 2024. I have another one. This has the date of October 2024. And then there's another document where it shows in the director's report that Easy Pay, the contract with Easy Pay and Promise Pay has been secured. Now, I do have a concern with this director's report from today, where it talks about customers being moved from Easy Pay into Promise Pay's program. So I'm not sure if customers are going to be shifted over if they default on their payment program, that 36-month program, and then are going to be shifted directly to Promise Pay. But it is very concerning for us. Additionally, it was in a presentation, and I think maybe even in the policy document, where it mentions that Promise Pay is getting 11% of the funds that they receive from Easy Pay. If anybody has any questions, feel free to email me, Norel@WeThePeopleOfDetroit.com. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next person is Mr. Miko Williams.
Williams?
Hi, good afternoon, board members. D'Amico Williams, Executive Director of Hydrate Detroit. I wanted to come and respond to some of the things that I've heard. And the last thing I've known about Promise Pay, that's supposed to be an ACH application. That's supposed to accept your payments from Cash App, Apple Pay, and I remember the last time I asked, I was talking with Mr. Phillips about that. I asked immediately, what are the fees? And they haven't discussed that yet. They were still trying to get the program, and it will take a minute because they have to implement that program to the billing systems. That will cause a big disruption, even though we like the opportunity to have other payment options so that we can pay our bill without being shut off. If I knew someone that was getting their water shut off and they asked me for money, I would be able to send them Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or even so much as other application to make the payment. I think Promise Pay, and I done research on it. I think it's a good opportunity for us to have an option where we could pay our bill. That's supposed to be for ACH. Now, if that's supposed to be for any other purpose, I wasn't discussed about that. And I wasn't talked to about that in the initial meeting. So I don't know what's going on. It's very concerning that I'm hearing that, Easy Pay is not being promoted through the community. Here it is, Wednesday, April 16th. I have been throwing myself across this table for over 3 months to beg all of you to not shut off water to anyone in the city of Detroit. No one should have to be in the fear of water shutoffs if you all were doing your jobs and allowing people to pay on what they could. We have all these situations going on. I understand the water department is going through financial difficulty because your federal funding might get cut. You might get slashed, and there's no money for any opportunity. So that means you should not be shutting off water on those that have recertified. I do not have the numbers, and I have not heard from this body what are the numbers of the people that are registered in Lifeline currently active today, making their $18 water bill payment and zeroing out their balance instead of being chained onto debt, which Gary Brown loves to do. He loves to chain you on the debt for 36 months, and then you'll never get off, and you'll be suffering and straining to get ahead, and you won't make a zero balance because the balance stays on top of each other, and you have not found that formula to cut off 10, 30, 50, which that should be phased out in order to put people in Easy Pay. Now, thank you for giving people the $10 waiver, but it should be an actual amount of how many people are in Lifeline today receiving the $18 water benefit and how many of those that have been pushed to Easy Pay and won't get that benefit. Thank you for taking my comment.
Yeah. Mr. Williams, let me suggest that personal comments about anybody here are out of order. And I had my hammer up, but I decided to let you keep talking. But please, no personal comments about individuals. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I suggest that at our next board meeting, we will do an in-depth PowerPoint presentation on Promise Pay so that if any of the customers that are calling in or this board has any questions or concerns about it, we'll do a complete presentation on the program.
Mr. Chair, may I ask the director if that would also be an item on the Customer Service Committee? Is that too soon?
I think that's most appropriate. We'll run it through the Customer Service Committee first, and then at the next full board meeting, we will have a more in-depth presentation.
Mr. Chair, that was the last public commenter. There's no other hands raised.
All right. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? None, we will close public participation and we will move to item 6, communications. We have A and B. Is there a motion? Commissioner Blackman.
Correspondence except communications under item 2025-88 and 2025-87. I'm sorry, 86 and 87.
Is there support? It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments regarding any of the communication that's being received? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. And those opposed, that is adopted unanimously. Number 7, are there any items from commissioners? Hearing none. Item 8, unfinished business, there's none. Commissioner Forte. I moved too fast. I'm sorry.
Finger raising. But I just wanted to mention, just so that all that are online understand the numbers related to the programs that are out there, both Lifeline and Easy Pay. I know that they're presented customer service every time we meet, but if there's a way to highlight those numbers so that we're presenting them maybe up front in the customer, I know it's on one page, but it seems that I know that we present them. I know that they're in a space where people can access them publicly, but just so that everybody is as current as we are on the board of those numbers, that would be great.
Okay, number 8, unfinished business, we have none. I don't think we ever have unfinished business. We take care of stuff. Item 9, approval of the consent agenda. Number 9 contemplates approval of items A through all of these, I believe, have come through the Finance Committee with the Finance Committee's recommendation that they be approved. They were reviewed in depth at the Finance Committee. But let me ask, does any commissioner want to take any item off the consent agenda and deal with it separately? All right, hearing none. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make the motion that we approve the consent agenda, the items on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Forte, and supported by Commissioner Blackman. Any discussion of any of these items? All right, I'm hearing none. We're spending a lot of money. But we've reviewed it carefully. All right, if there is no questions or comments, all those in favor of adopting the consent agenda, please say aye. And those opposed, and that is adopted. Next, we move into new business. And the first item is 202580, a committee presentation regarding the CIP budget.
Hello, can you hear me? Good afternoon, Commissioners. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I'm Istakar Raman, CFO, DWSD. Today, going through the CIP budget for FY 2026, as well as the 5-year CIP plan through FY 2026. Last month, you approved the operating budget for DWSD for fiscal year 2026. Today, I'll be seeking your approval for the CIP, which is the Capital Improvement Program budget for FY 26, as well as for the 5-year planning cycle. Here summarizes the proposed FY 26 through 30 5-year capital improvement plan, as well as the 26 capital budget. The summary here tells us that the FY 2026 through 30 provides for $542.3 million of water system improvement projects and $819 million for sewer improvement projects over the 5-year period, for a combined total of $1.3 billion in capital infrastructure improvements. The FY 26 capital budget itself for both water as well as the sewer systems come to $274.9 million. 115 of those 274 belong to water, and 159.6 is in the sewer fund. 66% of the five-year budget in the water fund and the sewer fund are for replacement, main replacement and sewer upgrades and some other related projects. Approximately $152.1 million and $240 million have been committed to lead service line replacement as well as stormwater infrastructure projects over the next 5 years. So this is just a summary here. All the projects that are funded are in the back of this presentation that details out all the water projects as well as the CIP projects. Next slide summarizes the cash inflow and the cash outflow for both the I&E and the construction funds for both the water and sewer projects. These are proposed for the next fiscal year.
Commissioner Garcia, you had a question?
You were looking at the water mains and the related projects situation, and you have the money already down for the 2025. Did you already included the damage that happened in Southwest Detroit?
No, the damage in the Southwest Detroit would be operating money coming out of the operating fund, not the capital fund. So it's not in this budget. It'll be funded out of our operating budget.
But the funds have been identified and allocated.
Operating fund, the funds have been.
Okay. Well, because I figure you're going to repair things and that was major.
Normally, it's long-term 30-year assets that last a long time. We use bond funding in the capital program. That's kind of the distinction between operating and capital. Yeah. Yes.
The issue is very clear that because it had that kind of damage and you're looking ahead, that I don't think it's the end of the damages. And that's why I worry. That's all. Thank you. Just my information. Appreciate it.
Sure. Maybe at our next meeting, we could get an update on that whole situation.
And to answer your question as well, the funds have been obligated in the operating fund for the Southwest Detroit flooding situation. All right, we move on to the next slide. This slide summarizes the funding sources. We have $1.3 billion in our capital infrastructure projects. And then this slide summarizes where the money is going to come from to fund our projects. The first part of this slide is the water fund. And the bottom part, which is highlighted in green, is the sewer summary of the funding sources. So you see there are not a whole lot of funding sources. There's 3 or 4 main sources of funding for us, which is namely bond funding. Many of our projects are funded by bond. We also get SRF loan at a cheaper rate that we fund some of our projects. I&E is a critical part of our capital program. I&E is the money we get from the Great Lakes Water Authority in terms of the lease payments on a yearly basis. All of those funds are used for capital projects, and none of I&E funds you ever use for operating. Then grants, again, is a critical part of our funding source for our CIP projects. As you will see here, in the water fund, we are projecting $34.6 million in grant funding just for FY 25-26 million. 16.5 out of that 34 is planned for a lead service line replacement, and 19.1 for water main replacement projects throughout the city. In the sewer fund, there's a larger part of our grant funding. We are projecting $84 million we are expecting $84 million in grant funding for our various projects. Mainly $60 million have been identified for the sewer alley project. and then $7 million for the Brightmoor Phase 2 project. I want to make a statement here in terms of the grant funding. As you know, the environment in DC right now, the country, a lot of these funding is uncertain. Although, for example, the sewer alley project, which was approved by Congress before the new administration came in place. So it's been approved by Congress, but we have not received the money. And I cannot say in any certain way whether we're going to receive it or not. The cash flow is completely in the hands of the new administration. So that's $175 million that Sam mentioned a few minutes ago that is scheduled for sewer alley repair work that's right now on hold. Similarly, the BRIG grant, which is for our Jefferson Chalmers sewer upgrade, we hear from press release that that grant has been canceled. We have not gotten any official letter from the granting agency, so we do not know. So that project is also part of the CIP plan here. We are not removing any of the CIP projects that are funded by grants at this point in time till we get official notification from the granting agencies that, in fact, these grants have been terminated or will not be forthcoming. If that happens, and when that happens, I'll be back here. We'll have to probably amend the budget. Depending on our funding source, we will make modifications. So as I mentioned, all the slides behind this slide are details of the projects, the project cost, as well as the spread across the 5-year period when the money is expected to be expended. I'll keep that short and conclude my presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Anything else?
That's it, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Resolution behind.
Okay, yes, Mr. Chair. Chair, upon recommendation of Ishikar Rahman, Chief Financial Officer, the Detroit Board of Water Commissioners for the City of Detroit Water and Sewage Department, I move that this body approve the proposed 5-year capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2026 to 2030 for the water supply system in the amount of $542,350,000 and for the sewage disposal system in the amount of $819,040,000 respectively, and the fiscal year 2026 capital budget for the water supply system in the amount of $115,260,000 for, million dollars, $115,260,000, and for the sewage disposal system in the amount of $159,650,000 respectively, and further authorizes the Director and Chief Financial Officer to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote.
And Commissioner, one moment, can you,
Have to read the resolution.
the resolution on the bottom of page 61, just read that at the bottom.
Okay, bottom of 61. Now therefore be it resolved that the Detroit Board of Water Commissioners approves the 5-year capital improvement plan for fiscal years 2026 through 2030 and the fiscal year 2026 capital budget for the water supply system and the sewage disposal system, and be it finally resolved that the Director and Chief Financial Officer are authorized to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this resolution.
All right, and is there support? Been supported. Any discussion? Plan, and obviously plans get changed when based on all kinds of variables, but it's as clear as we can see at this point. Questions, comments? All right, then this requires a roll call, so let's call the roll.
Chairman Eichenhauser?
Yes.
Vice Chair Blackman? Yes. Commissioner Garcia? Yes. Commissioner Kenlock?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman? Commissioner Forte?
Yes.
And that is adopted. Thank you very much. We have item C 2025-90, an easement with regard to Wayne State University. Mr. Bari?
The motion.
I think your mic's off.
Must you have a motion before the explanation? Explanation. For the explanation.
First, while we're doing that, is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
Chair.
Commissioner Forte, is there support?
Would you like me to move it? Yep. Mr. Chair, regarding the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department easement encroachment permit, I'd like to recommend that the Board of Water Commissioners for the City of Detroit Water and Sewerage Department authorizes its director to enter into an easement encroachment permit with Wayne State University, and also authorizes its director to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote. And I move it.
It's been moved and it's been supported. Jacob?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Jacob Bari, Associate General Counsel. This is an easement encroachment that relates to the construction of a cooling tower to service the Wayne State University Community Arts Complex. It will cross over an existing DWSD easement located at 5603 Cass Avenue. This covers a 10-inch sewer line. It is bound by 2nd, Cass, Kirby, and Ferry Avenues. This easement encroachment permit, along with all DWSD encroachment permits, has been reviewed and approved by DWSD engineers to ensure the integrity of the underlying DWSD asset. We seek your approval, which I think we already got.
Any questions or comments? Mr. Bari, I got contacted by our friend Brad Dick, who now is at Wayne State, and this was some urgency for them. So thank you for your work to get it on the agenda today. Hearing no questions or comments, all those in favor of adopting this easement, please say aye. And that is adopted. Thank you. Next, we have our amended item D, and this has to do with a recommended settlement of a lawsuit. There is a resolution before you. Who would like to read the motion? Make the motion. Kinlock.
Mr. Chair, upon the recommendation of General Counsel and Chief Compliance Officer Scott McGriff, I move that the Board of Water Commissioners for the City of Detroit Water and Sewage Department authorize the director to settle the matter of Terry Jackson versus City of Detroit Wayne County Circuit Court, case number 24-002257 NO for the amount $67,500 and also authorizes the director to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote.
It's been moved and it's been supported. Jacob?
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. Jacob Bari, Associate General Counsel. There's been an accompanying confidential memo that was sent out to all the commissioners earlier this week. I have a copy of it here with me in case any of you need to review it in hard copy. This was a matter that's been facilitated between plaintiffs and defendants. We reached this agreement. The Office of General Counsel believes it's a reasonable settlement in light of the facts and circumstances surrounding the case, and we seek your approval to get a dismissal of the case with prejudice in exchange for consideration of the settlement agreement, $67,500.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments? We all have had an opportunity to review the privileged memo with regard to mediation and some of the underlying facts. Are we prepared to vote? All those in favor of approving this settlement, please say aye.
Aye.
And that is adopted. Thank you. Next, item 11, the director's report. Yes.
Second, I'd like to point out that this will be the last board meeting that Senior Associate General Counsel Jacob Bari will be attending. He's moving on to other pastures. I won't say they're greener because they're not. We're going to miss his work ethic. We're going to miss his guidance, and we're going to miss his contribution. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to Jacob and allow you to understand what's happening and have a chance to wish him well.
That applause is not because we're glad you're leaving, but because we thank you for your contribution.
Are you going in a private firm? Congratulations. Thank you. All right, next, the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to address two issues, then I'll turn it over to the Deputy Director to address the operational issues. The first issue is you may have seen publicity surrounding a house that's been called the Castle in the city of Detroit. I missed most of the publicity around that. I was in Washington, D.C. last week and I didn't see it, but I've been brought up to speed on the issue. Yesterday, it's my understanding that he has a following of more than 100,000 followers on Facebook, and that he went on Facebook Live and basically stated that he had made a payment of several $1,000s and that he was cut off. Those are not the correct facts. The facts are that he owns 5 separate parcels. He owes a total of approximately $15,000. On 4 of the parcels, on a number of occasions, he was advised by my staff that he needed to file a property transfer affidavit when he purchased those properties. He also needed to initiate a water account for several of the properties, in which he failed to do. Those 4 properties had a balance of about $7,000. Then there's one other property that has the main house on it, in which he owed approximately $8,000. On January 14th, we notified him that he needed to make arrangements to get into a payment plan. And as you know, that's just $10, and we spread the payments over 3 months, and he failed to do that. Did him again in March 24th. We have pictures of the notification, and again, he failed to respond. He was notified a 3rd time in April, and again, he failed to respond. It wasn't until a DWSD crew showed up at his property that he made a sizable payment, but he never entered into a payment plan, and no one at DWSD even knew the payment had been made. When we advised him, we clearly told him that he needed to be in a payment plan. And as you know, that's simply $10. Get into a payment plan. We spread the payments over 3 years. You can't create your own payment plan where you simply pay an amount of money and then do nothing else. You have to get into, it's called Easy Pay. And so now that we have him in Easy Pay, He's protected from shut off. Going forward will be spread over 3 years. And as long as he makes his payments, he will be protected from shut off. And so there was a lot of conversation on the internet and social media about what DW did and didn't do. And I'm just here to give you the facts. He was notified in January, March, and April of this year, and he took no action. And therefore, we were forced to take action. And when we did, we got the result that everybody wanted, which was simply get into a payment plan. So that's the first issue. I won't go into depth with regards to the 54-inch break because I've been asked to even bring back more detailed information. But I do want to just give you a few of the facts so far. So by Friday, we'll be completely done with all the homes that we had left. We just have one left, and the gentleman has some serious health issues that we're helping him address, along with putting in a furnace, hot water tank, electrical, and making his home safe. We'll be done with that by Friday. He was the last home that we had on the books. Everyone in the hotel by Friday will be gone. And so there's no one left in the hotel as of Friday. And wrapping up the recovery efforts, there have been 165 homes sanitized, 134 furnaces installed, 137 hot water tanks installed, 60 homes were completed with electrical work, and 22 homes were completed with plumbing work. So there's a lot of work that was done in the neighborhood. We will also, all of the work is warranted for 1 year. I've got Mr. Phillips negotiating with the American Water Works. We'd like to also give those homeowners in the affected area a American Water Resource warranty program for their sewer private lines as well as their water lines if they were to have issues with those in the future. We're also contemplating giving them a warranty on some of the appliances that could have been affected and weren't replaced. So we're working that out now. We received a $20,000 donation, and we will use those dollars to make sure that those homeowners not only have the 1-year warranty on the work that was completed, but also have an extended warranty on sewer lines and water lines that could have been affected by the storm. The claims process is not going as fast as I had hoped. But I will come back to you at the next meeting with some steps that we hope to take in order to speed that up so that we can bring this matter to a close. As you know, we did forgive some bills while this was going on. We didn't feel it was fair to charge people for water while we were going through the process. So we gave them credits for 2 months of bills also. I hope that we've made most people happy with what we've done with the speed. It only took 6 weeks to get people back into their homes. And I know that's a long time to be out of your home. I'm not downplaying it, but to go through 418 homes in 6 weeks' time with this amount of work was a testament to the men and women at DWSD that worked on this, the contractors, everybody involved. It wasn't perfect. We still got a lot of work to do, but at least we can say that people are back in their homes and getting their lives back to normal. With that said, I'll turn it over to Mr. Smalley for the operational portion of the report.
See ya.
And all your team, what happened in Southwest Detroit was devastating to a lot of people. Unfortunately, the agencies weren't all prepared to deal with that kind in the middle of winter, and all the families that needed help. LACE, along with the Red Cross, is still working with families. I want to thank you and all the people that work for you, Meth, when we ever call him, we know there's problems, we call. This is not going to be over for a while. Some people did lose everything and they were renters and they weren't covered like other people. I know where the blame's at, and I don't blame the city of Detroit, and I don't blame the water department. The blame to me is right smack in the middle of that new bridge that really devastated our community, causing sinkholes and causing a lot of problems. And the banging continues. Some people have lost their foundations. So I know that that contributed, and I really would like to put the blame where it belongs. And we will continue, as our agency will continue to advocate for those people that have lost so much that may not be able to be covered by the city. So I just wanted you to know that personally. It has been very devastating to deal with some of these people's crisis. And thank God for agencies like LASSA who rolled up their sleeves and worked Saturday and Sundays. And, you know, I just think that your staff did the same, and we appreciate everybody that worked so hard. Gracias. On behalf of my community, thank you.
And Commissioner, tomorrow there's going to be a telephone conversation about this incident, as well as, most importantly, the claim process. And so I will send you an invite. And if you're able to be on the call, I think it would be helpful if you think that someone, one of the LaSalle representatives would be helpful, because yes, there's a lot of blame to go around, but right now I just want to make sure that we do what we need to do in the claims process to get that closed out. And we're struggling right now. So any help that LaSalle, advice that they could give us, we'd be more than happy to take that under consideration. And again, I'm going to have a phone call with the Chief Operating Officer of the City of Detroit tomorrow to have this discussion on how we can fast track the claim process to get people made whole as quickly as possible. So I'll send you the invite. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next slide, please. On this, because I know we have about 220 inoperable hydrants. Again, we have 30,000 hydrants, so that's less than 0.5% are inoperable. Next slide. We had a rough winter that resulted in a lot of water main breaks and service line leaks, but we're beginning to pull those numbers down. As of Monday, I think we had 36 water main breaks, and the numbers coming down rapidly. Next slide. This is what I just talked about. Next slide. On catch basins and sewer cleaning, as of right now, we have about 2,000 reports of blocked catch basins and another 800 that we have verified are blocked. Last season, our crews were able to clean over 6,000 catch basins. So we are very confident that we're going to be able to eliminate the backlog of blocked catch basins that we're aware of. If you have one on your street, please call us 267-8000 or use the improved Detroit app. Otherwise, we will just start a normal rotation once we've eliminated the backlog of blocked catch basins that have been reported. Next. In terms of sewer cleaning, our crews have already cleaned 50 miles of sewer this year. We're just getting started. The goal is to clean 600 miles of sewer. Again, we have 2,400 miles of sewer mains that are 24 inches and below. So at that 600 mile per year pace, we're cleaning the entire sewer system every 4 to 5 years. There are some sewers, especially with a lot of restaurants, that we have to clean more regularly, but we have significantly ramped up our sewer cleaning. Next slide. Operations, our meter operations team under Charlotta Flake has done a phenomenal job. Just notice the middle bar is so much larger than what the incomplete bar on the right is. Whereas that used to be 50-50 success rate. We're now in the 60 to 70% success rate and continuing to try to massage our approaches and SOPs to further increase that. And they're getting in excess of 300 meters replaced on a regular weekly basis. Next slide. Right-hand side, the typical reasons that we're not able to successfully complete a work order would be either no access or plumbing issues, or the stop box at the curb or at the sidewalk has issues, or there may be some other safety issues. The vast majority are no access. We're looking at ways to use technology. If I order a pizza from Domino's, I get, text messages. I get text messages when I have doctor's appointments. We're trying to integrate those types of conveniences into our approach to further address the unsuccessfuls due to no access.
I took a plane trip for the last week, and for the first time I got a text message. My bag was on the plane. And then when we landed, I got a text message of what carousel my bag would be at. Pretty good.
Sorry, you made me laugh. Next slide. Real estate reads, the primary reason for the backlog in real estate reads is if you schedule a real estate read, you have to be there to let us in. You'd have to use our automatic meter reading system data. So if you need a real estate read, you have to be there when the appointment is. Next slide. I think we can stop there. Our revenue protection unit security team has done a phenomenal job this year, as always. And I think we've had more detailed reports in the committee meetings. So thank you.
Any questions or comments, either to the director or the deputy director? Hearing none. Move to comments by commissioners.
Mr. Chair.
Mike.
I just wanted to mention that earlier part of this month, I had the opportunity to attend an event sponsored by We the People, Water Peeps, a community meeting in which they talked about critical aspects of water affordability and gave a history associated with water affordability and DWSD in the city of Detroit, but also across the country. They brought some folks in, national water advocates, and it was an amazing, event to attend. They gave us a lot of information to the public who was there. Also, it was held at Martin Evers Missionary Baptist Church, where the pastor is Pastor Alonzo Bell. And there was some information that came out of it that I would love to share with our staff here to actually look at, explore some of the things that some of the other communities are doing. We probably may or may not have looked at those, but I think it'd be good just to take a look at. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Commissioner Kinlock. Comments from any other commissioners? Comments by the chair? I have none. Are there any other matters to come before the commission today?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to follow up on one comment made by Director Brown and Commissioner Garcia, and that is next Saturday, April 26th, the Mackinac administrators, that is our claims administrators, will be holding an in-person event at Roberto Clemente grade school. I think it's a elementary school right in the middle of the Southwest Water Project area, Project 54 area, to meet with claimants personally, face to face, to try to resolve claims and bridge some of the communication gaps. There's been a lot of telephone tag happening, and that's going to happen next Saturday, April 26th. And so we've been speaking to a couple of community groups who are providing some support for that, but Mackinac will be on site to directly resolve claims with residents that have made claims already on a face-to-face basis. So it's important, at least in this form, to put that notice out. You're welcome.
Excellent. All right. Any others to come before? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn is in order. It's been moved support. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. And we stand adjourned. Thank you all. Mayday.
Thank you. Jerry, I got this. Okay. Yeah, I think you haven't met